cloud yet.
Yes.
What's the very first thing that you notice?
It looks mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a room. It looks mechanical.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about how it looks mechanical, what you notice.
There are tubes and they're attached to pods, a row of pods.
Tell me about these pods.
See into them. They, they're, they're not, there's like some sort of pattern covering the top of the pods. I can't see what's in them.
What does the pattern look like?
Like a butterfly wing.
Does it have a color? Tell me more.
It's green and black, but everything else is more gray.
I see. There's tubes that are attached to the pods.
Yes, they're coming out the top.
Tell me more about that.
It seems like it's keeping something alive inside.
Mm-hmm.
The, the pods are they're very big, right next to each other. I don't see anybody else there.
You don't.
No,
If you focus in on yourself there and focus in on yourself and look down, do you notice if you have feet there or no feet?
I see feet. They also seem to be the same color as the gray of the machines.
What do your feet look like?
They're long. They have like it's like shorter toes. Or less toes.
Are you wearing anything on your feet? Do you notice?
No, it doesn't look like there's anything like I'm wearing anything.
And shorter toes, but long?
Like it's less, it looks like less toes.
If you look up your body, what does your body look like?
Mm. Very thin. It's, I can only see parts of it.
Mm-hmm. What do you see?
Oh, it looks very, very thin and gray, long. My skin looks strange.
Tell me about it.
Doesn't look like human skin. There's more like creases in it, more lines. Um, mm, Kind of like almost like an animal skin without fur.
Mhm. If you touch your skin, what does it feel like?
Kind of rough but soft. Like a
What are you,
little squishy.
like a little what?
A little like soft, like you could push into it.
What do your hands look like?
Thin, long, similar to my feet, but mm, there's less fingers.
How many fingers do you notice you have?
3, but one is on the side, so maybe 4.
What do you mean on the side?
Like a thumb, but it's the whole hand is longer, so it's like in a different position.
Oh, and are you holding anything with you or no?
I'm not holding anything.
Do you get a sense what your face looks like in your head?
It's long, the head shape, the top of it is longer, like elongated top.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Smaller features compared to what the head is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really see very well.
Mm-hmm. And tell me more about yourself if you focus in on your body. Do you feel young or old? Do you notice?
I feel like I've been here for a while.
Tell me more about how you feel.
Feel very at ease and like strong, and I know what I'm doing and feels very whatever is happening. I feel very natural and I'm taking care of something.
Tell me more.
Feels like I'm taking care of these pods. There's something that I'm in charge of or created long time ago.
You get a sense how they were created or what exactly they are?
There's something that it's kind of hard to explain. It it allows the body to split from its conscious self-awareness and project to other places in time. It can be for seeing or doing things in particular patterns of time.
And do you get a sense how this mechanism works?
Has to do with energy particles, splitting of particles. Something, and if someone is inside the pod, they cannot leave the pod until it's like their body is in a catatonic state as they split and shift their consciousness. The feels like it's a frequency that matches another frequency
Mm.
in order to shift to a different timeline or period of time.
Do you get a sense where these these beings like to go?
Wherever they're needed.
Tell me about that.
They they've come a long way in their growth, and they can pinpoint areas of disruption or distortion inside the collective, and they can bring their piece of their consciousness to that space for healing.
Tell me about that. How do they do that?
It's splitting from the body. The machines help this splitting from the body. The body is taken care of by the machine as their consciousness travels. It's it's hard to explain.
Have you ever done it? Have you ever?
Yes,
Tell me about that. What was it like for you and where did you go?
it was scary at first. It's there's training that happens that teaches you how to split from your consciousness or release it.
Can you tell me about this training?
something that is done in groups. Feels like it's a selection of other beings. And they decide to come and do the training. And the training is to allow yourself to not have identity, where you are fully immersed in a collective.
What does that feel like to not have identity and be immersed in the collective?
In the beginning, it's scary. It feels like dying. But once you get through, it's blissful, and peaceful, and calm. It
Do you,
just is.
do you still have thoughts if you split from and become part of the collective?
It's an interaction between all of the other minds. It's an all it's kind of an all-knowing,
Do
but the
they?
thoughts come up through the interactions that happen through this process.
Oh, and then what happens? Tell me more.
Once you're in the collective, then you are able to work with Source in order to bring healing to dense pockets,
How do you
disruption patterns.
how do you work with source? What is that like?
That is the merging of the collective. It is allowing yourself to be one with Source while still in a body.
In order to work with dense pockets? Where are there dense pockets? And do you get a sense as to why there are dense pockets?
When beings are not in a collective, they have their own identities. The identities are the things that create chaos and contrast with other beings. But it's part of the experience, but sometimes it can get out of control. It can spiral, and there needs to be intervention.
What's the intervention like?
The intervention is when the collective decides to project into a dense pocket. Sometimes they can take up space in beings of all different kinds in order to guide, but they can't interfere with free will. It's a hard process.
So what happens when they project their energy onto a dense pocket? Does it make a difference? What happens to that dense pocket?
It has to be while using free will to bring in understanding, and their energy patterns slowly change the environment. But it takes a while and can be hard. A lot of times we come for short periods of time to create change, and then we must leave.
Tell me about that. How do you come for short periods of time to create change? What does that look like exactly?
It's moving to a particular spot on the timeline where the dense energy patterns happen. And you project in to break it up because the vibration that's being brought in is higher and it can break up density. It just takes some time. But once the energy pattern is brought down, it continues to work after we're gone.
Oh, wow. And when you did this before, what was that like for you?
It felt good. I wanted to help. The problem is sometimes it can backfire.
Why?
If we're not careful in the way that we interact with the dense pockets and the other beings there.
Tell me about that.
It can cause chaos or worship.
Oh, has this ever happened to you?
Yes,
Tell me about that.
during this mission and project, there's been times while learning that we have caused more chaos accidentally.
What did you do?
Showing up in a more true form instead of showing up by projecting ourselves into other life forms.
I see. So what did you decide?
We could no longer come in true form. We had to create machines to project consciousness into beings that were already in these dense energy patterns.
What sort of machines?
The pods,
Tell me more about that.
the pods were created to transfer the consciousness of the collective into the energy pocket or into dense pockets
How?
through separating our particles. It's a process of mental training and also through the machines which allow our energy to be split. Before we didn't have that, and we would come as a collective.
What was that like when you came as a collective?
It was very educational.
Tell me about it.
We had not been around forms of life like this before. It's far past in any lineage that we go back. Felt for it. It was difficult. As difficult as if we show up in our true form, the other beings are not used to it. Our energy is too high. It can feel scary.
How did the other beings react?
Originally, initially in fear, but then it became worship.
Tell me about that. What did you do when they became worship?
We tried to help and just show them the way, but they couldn't remove the idea of us being something other than us just trying to help.
I see. What did these other beings look like and who were they?
There's been different kinds, different planets. We've come multiple times to Earth, trying different times. But each time it ended in chaos.
See. When these other beings started to worship you, what did you do?
We had to leave. We had to leave because it was causing fighting and chaos on the planet and between the other beings.
Did this ever happen on Earth or just other planets?
On Earth as well.
Can you tell me about when it happened on Earth? What happened?
The first time we came, we were unprepared. We thought that intervention could happen simply by showing up and working directly with the beings.
What did you want to do? What was your intention?
To help them excel in their evolution.
Why did you want this?
They were suffering.
Why were they suffering?
They didn't have the correct makeup to survive. Their instincts were misaligned.
Why?
They seemed to be altered. And this alteration made them not able to be in tune with their natural instincts and
Do you,
intuition.
do you get a sense who or what altered them or how?
Other beings, it's another planet from another star galaxy. When we came here, they were already altered.
What were these beings like before they were altered?
Simple or animal, more in touch with the land, more in tune with Earth's vibration. But the outside interference had caused them to lose that natural instinct that they had.
Why did this outside influence do that to them?
An experiment. I don't know if they had a reason outside of just experimenting.
Mm. Do you get a sense who this other group was that did this tampering?
Mm. Orion.
Mm. Tell me about this group.
They don't seem to have the same care. They do what they want without thought of the collective.
Why?
I don't know. They have some sort of distortion.
So they tampered with the population.
Yes. And then left.
And so
They,
you go ahead.
they didn't they didn't even clean up the mess that they had made.
And so you saw that these beings or people, I guess, were in pain.
Yes, they were dying. They, something had gone wrong with the experiment. It wasn't working.
What does it look like went wrong?
The DNA splicing wasn't done correctly. It was accelerating too fast.
Mm.
When something doesn't have time to grow, it causes disharmony and chaos.
So,
Exponential growth.
what did you guys do?
We tried to regulate their nervous systems
How?
through a vibration. They, their energy was scattered. We tried to realign it, show them how to work with their planet again, because they were so disconnected from it.
Mm. What else did you do?
We showed them how to work with each other, how to create food.
How did you teach them how to create food? What did you teach them?
And the plants on their planet, showed them how to grow and cultivate food. Their energy was so scattered.
Tell me more.
It was a long time of intervention with them. We had to leave and come back multiple times. And though we had regulated their nervous systems, there was still something that was creating chaos between them.
What does it look like it was?
The disharmony in the DNA. It's something that wasn't supposed to be there.
Mm.
But over the years, slowly, the body has evolved to interact with the DNA more properly
How did that happen?
with time, breeding.
Breeding? What do you mean by that?
And these beings creating children. Slowly the DNA started to take what it took. Long long time.
What do you mean these beings created children. What do you mean by that?
The beings on the planet, that their DNA had been spliced.
Mm.
And then those beings on the planet started to have children. And over many, many generations, they would start to integrate the DNA.
Oh, okay. What about now?
It's still causing chaos, but all of the DNA is waking up
What do you mean by that?
due to where the alignment of your galaxy is right now. And the pull from certain planets, it has allowed the DNA from the outside intervention, from the experiment, to awaken in a different way than it was able to before.
I see. And what happens when it awakens?
Harmony can be restored.
Is there any way to do that for someone that wants to do that?
It is a natural process. We now and continue to work with beings to help aid in the transition, but it is a natural process that is occurring.
And what do you mean by work with beings to aid in the process?
With beings that project their consciousness in.
And work with them?
Yes,
How do you do that?
anyone can tap into it. It is just a frequency. When a being is ready on Earth, their vibration is at a peak point. They can tap into vibration and merge into the collective, which aids in guidance and healing.
I see. And so what about you guys? What about you? After you went to Earth that one time, what happened?
We learned, and then we aid in many other dense pockets in other galaxies. It is what we do now.
I see.
We still work with Earth
How? How do you work with Earth?
through projecting our energy and consciousness onto the planet.
If someone wanted to work with you, what would they need to do?
Raise their vibration with first taking care of their vessel, consuming the right foods, taking care of them, and then removing chaos
How do you remove chaos?
going inward. The outside is what creates a distortion. There's just no distortion inside.
And once you do that, how do they work with you?
They have to ask and be ready.
And do you guys go by a name? Or what do you call yourselves?
We don't have a name.
Do you have a place where you're from?
It's been a long time since we've been from a particular place.
What was your place when you did have a place? What was it like, and did it have a name?
In your galaxy, it was Sirius. But that was for a short period of time.
Why?
So we needed to move and continue forward with our missions.
Where
We
did you
don't.
go?
Now we are on a ship.
What is your ship like?
It's large. It's where we live.
Does your race have a type of name or no?
We are a mixture of beings.
Tell me about that. Why are you a mixture of beings?
It had to be those who volunteered and wanted to be a part of the mission. We had to find others that were ready and able to join us.
So, if you're a mixture, do you look different than everyone else, or does everyone look similar?
Everyone is different. Everyone is very different. But we practice a merging of our consciousness. So therefore we are no longer individual, even if our bodies are.
Oh, what is it like when you practice this merging?
It feels like going home.
I see. And what kind of things do you do on the ship?
I take care of my pods.
How do you feel about this?
It's an honor. It's the only thing I care about. It's the only thing that matters.
See, it's wonderful. How close to Earth are you and your ship?
Right now, we are pretty close. Just outside your solar system. To monitor.
are you monitoring?
Because of the great change that's happening.
Tell me about this great change. What exactly is happening?
It is the awakening of the DNA. It is the emerging of the power of the beings on planet Earth. It is a time of great change and turmoil. That's why we must monitor.
How do you feel the progress is going?
It's had a steady course.
During the great change, do you see any um, changes to the earth?
The Earth's aura is changing. She is shifting as well, which is why there's shifting on her planet.
What does her aura look like?
Yellow, very yellow.
What is it shifting to?
A new timeline.
Tell me about this.
It is a parallel shift, just barely over, but it creates great change for her and all the beings on it.
What sort of advice would you give beings that are shifting, that are on this earth?
Breathe. It'll all work out. Be with each other. Find others. And be around nature. As the aura of the planet is what will help regulate your nervous systems.
So the aura of the planet helps regulate the nervous system. So it's good to be in nature. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Does it matter what type of nature?
No. No. All of Earth in its natural state is perfect.
What about the environmental toxins that Earth has, like the microplastics and the dust of the plains?
She can heal anything. That is not a problem. It just takes time. But the humans have to work with her,
What do they have to do?
find her again. They've lost touch with her.
Mm.
This is due to the split of the DNA. It's the thing that caused chaos.
Is she aware? Is Earth aware of what happened to?
Yeah, yes, yes. This is why the shift is happening.
How long does a shift take?
100,000 years.
Where does it look like humanity is in the shift right now?
Towards the end. But there's another 5,000 years until the pure shift.
I see. So was there shifting going on during the time of Atlantis?
Yes,
Where,
there's been a shift for a very long time.
when did it start?
Before Atlantis.
Did you ever see the beings and the people on Atlantis?
We worked with them a little bit.
How did you do that?
The same way. Through transporting our consciousness. They were much more aware and able to do this.
What were they able to do?
Tap into the energy around them. Work with the energy around them.
Why were they able to do that better?
Their technology. They had technology that taught them a lot and allowed them to tap in.
I see. What sort of technology?
Transmitters and readers that could read the energy. And they could hold objects. The objects would bring them into a certain vibration.
Where did they get these objects?
They made them.
How did they?
They were found from Earth, and elements of Earth.
I see. Thank you. Is there anything else about this you would like to say?
I think that's it.
How do you know Tanya?
I've worked with her.
Tell me about that. How did you work with her?
We have an agreement. Just like many, she has an agreement to speak with us.
Tell me more. What kind of agreement? And she's supposed to speak with you?
It's an agreement that's made before a soul comes into a body here on Earth. Certain souls agree to allow to use their free will to communicate with us, to help aid and shift. Just like you,
So tell me more about that. So how does that work?
as a soul is being born into the world, our machines allow our consciousness to connect with their consciousness as they are born into physical form. And as they grow, they're able to start connecting. And slowly, the connection becomes more apparent. And then it becomes direct.
Do you directly communicate with Tanya?
Yes,
Is she aware of this?
yes.
See. And so, what is Tanya's purpose in this life? Do you know these things?
Mm. Just like many others, she's here to help aid in the shift.
I see.
It's just part of the process.
And are you or do you know who the beings were that has come to Tanya, or are they you?
They are two of us and one other.
Who is the other?
This being that we work with, but is not a part of our collective.
Why did you show yourself physically to her?
For proof.
Why did you call yourself We the Three?
It's a name. It's easier for humans to have a name, and it is a name of collective.
But you told her that you were not an extraterrestrial being, that you are very ancient from here. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, we have come many times in pairs of three to help guide through different periods of time.
Or would you consider yourself an extraterrestrial or no?
That is something that beings of Earth would call us. But that is not what we are. We've been around for a very long time.
So would you consider that you're from Earth then? Is that what you mean?
No, we are not from Earth. We came to help Earth. But if you look at any of your stories throughout time, you will see the three show up often. The thrice, the three. Over and over again, it repeats. It's just a very particular part of our collective that decides to come down to aid in very specific points of time.
Why three?
It's a unity. It creates something rather than the other.
I see. It's unity. Okay, I see that.
A collective cannot be two, cannot be one. But three is a symbol of unity and collective.
Okay. And now that Tanya is aware of who you are and she's agreed to work with you, what do you want her to know?
I listen to the gentle whispers that happen all the time. Those are the nudges
What about her job and what she does for work? Do you have any advice on that?
She's doing what we've asked her to do, what all sources asked her to do. It's a progression.
And can I speak with Tanya's higher self, please? Can I speak directly with Tanya's higher self? Do I have permission to speak with Tanya's higher self?
Yes.
Why did you show her the pods? Why did you show her those beings? Was that her or was that something else?
She'll understand this is where she has come from for this particular incarnation.
So is she one of those beings then?
Yes.
What is her mission in this life?
Aid in the transformation of Earth, the parallel shift.
How can she go ahead?
Work as a collective. It's working as a collective. The structures that are in place no longer work. It has to be a collective.
How can she best fulfill her purpose here?
Working with others to help create great change. The progress can only be made together.
Do you have any advice on how she can work with others?
She's being brought many other people that have the same mission. She recognizes them as they recognize her.
Oh, okay. Do you have any advice on her career?
She's doing what she needs to do.
Is there anything she could do for her company that would benefit it that she's not doing?
Put themselves out there more.
What's the best way to do that?
Through video creation. This is why they work in production.
Do more video creation?
Yes.
What sort of video creation?
Media. It is creating a new way of putting out this information. It's all the same message, just to reach different people.
Okay. She wants to tap in better. What's the correct practice for her?
She needs to meditate. She knows this.
How often do you want her to meditate?
Daily, if not multiple times a day.
And how long would benefit her the most?
30 minutes.
What type of meditation? would work best for her
Our normal mantra meditation.
for 30 minutes. If she starts to do this, how quickly will she notice a difference?
Within days.
How many days?
10.
What will she notice?
An ease, a presence, flow, connection. Her brain is too scattered.
Okay. Can you do body scan on her? Can you scan her body and look deep into her body? What is the very root cause of her eye discomfort?
It would be healed with meditation. It's strain, stress, contraction. The meditation will help. It will open up flow, relieve tension. It's very important.
Okay, well, she got the messages, and so she's going to meditate. Is there any other purpose for this eye discomfort?
She needs to put her vision out.
Tell me the best way for her to do this.
Be completely free with her creativity. Remove any aspects of her that feel the need to create for others instead of creating for creation's sake.
It's wonderful. Do you have any advice on that?
She's already in alignment with her purpose. So if she begins to remove the need to appease others, all creation that comes out of her will be in alignment.
Okay. What about the rest of her body? How does the rest of her body look?
There are 2 energy blockages, one at the top left crown and one on the left side of the chest and one on the left side of the large toe.
What is the very root cause of the blockage on her crown? Where does this originate, or what is causing that?
It's all on her receiving side, her receiving channels.
Mm. What does she?
She's too outward in pushing too much instead of allowing. It's causing blockages at the top, bottom, and center of her left side.
Well, now that she's aware of that and she understands, can you release these now for her since she got the message?
Yes.
Thank you. She keeps hearing that she's supposed to have a baby. Is this correct or is this not correct?
This is correct.
What does she need to understand about this?
She is scared, but It is part of the mission.
Why is she scared?
Freedom.
What do you want to tell her about this?
Love opens all new pathways.
And you open all new pathways then with love in her body?
Yes.
When do you want her to have this baby?
It'll be in the next 2 years.
Is there anything you need to tell her about this?
Relax.
What will her life be like with this baby?
Joyful. Will be focused differently.
Why has she not had this baby earlier?
She was not ready.
Mm. Is there anything important to understand about this particular type of baby?
She is a child of the stars as well. She continues a mission.
It's wonderful. Can you send healing through her body? Can you send healing through Tanya's body?
Mm.
Why is Cody sick right now?
He's releasing a parasite, an energetic parasite,
Where does that originate?
from a hold from work.
Oh, what does he need to understand about this?
It needs to be released.
Can you send healing to him?
Yes.
Is there anything that the two of them need to understand about their relationship?
Stay connected and
Do
go
you
much farther together.
Mm. That's beautiful. Um, okay, see. Can you tell me about this healing machine that you had showed or that she had seen before? Is this something you want her to recreate?
Yes, she has to build it. She will
What?
build it in the right time.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.